So our observation will be Thursday the 24th from, let me see, 1:40 to 2:25. So
Okay.
it's regular 45 minutes. Okay. So for second grade ELAR, what is your goal for this lesson? What are your objectives?
Okay. Let me think. Text features. We'll be going over text features, looking for just the different text features in the story. The story I'm going to be reading is called Sea Otter Pups, and it will have things like diagrams, labels, photographs, captions. So this will be kind of a review because we've already taught it, or I've already taught it.
Mm-hmm.
We've already actually just tested on it, but we'll test again. So we're going to review that. So I guess the objective will be being able to locate and tell why text features are good for us.
Okay.
As well as comprehending what we read, because we will be taking questions that kids have asked prior, and they will have to see if we can find those answers to those questions in the text.
Okay. So then this will be kind of like it's not the assessment, right? It's just the review for them?
Yes.
Okay. So how will you know, either formal or informal, kind of where the kids are at?
Okay. As we're reading through it, they will, they're going to have the story in front of them as well. So they will be able to label on the story in their book or whatever, the actual text feature that they see or that we're using.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so that'll be kind of informal, just, they're not going to turn it into me, but I'll be able to walk around and kind of look to see if they're getting it. And so we'll discuss that. And then also just if they can find the information of the questions, I'm going to have them to where they need to show me their evidence and show me in the text. So I may have them do some turn and talk, tell a neighbor, and that sort of thing. So it'll kind of just be like observation for some of it as well.
Okay. And as we talk, I might skip some of these questions just if you've already answered.
Yeah, that's fine.
So let's see. Okay, how can students take initiative of their own learning or self-monitor their progress?
By taking initiative of it is like maybe before we turn, I guess, like if we're like reading or whatever, if they're already then saying, oh, I may say, what text feature do you see on this page? So if they're kind of already looking, or that could be the initiative of, oh, I know what this is for, I'm going to raise my hand and tell Miss Anderson this here. Or when they turn and talk with their neighbor or with their table, they may find one and explain to their classmates what this text feature is used for or something. I don't know. Is that what you asked me?
Yeah. Okay, how are your learning goals communicated to the students?
Before we start, I usually will say, you really need to listen. This is what we're going to be looking for. So I think I kind of point out just, tell them that, well, I'll review the chart that we had made from the day before of what their questions are, of what information they want to know about sea otters.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll tell them, okay, so today as we're reading, I want you to, let me know. I'll probably have some kind of hand signals, what I usually come up with, that when they find an answer, let me know for the comprehension part. And then, also tell them, remember, and I'll have my chart from when we did text features a few weeks back. We'll review the text features and say, okay, here's what we're looking for. So as we're reading, if you find this text feature, we're going to label it and let me know not only the text feature, but why we use the text feature.
Okay. Is there anything you do that to modify for your different levels, or for, I guess you have the SPED group, so you don't have GT, but how do you modify for your other kids?
Right. In the class you'll be seeing, I do not have like in-class support or anything. I do have kids, obviously, that still need support. So with those, usually I just either pair them up with a friend, or I go by their desk a little more and or I'll use them like, oh, let's do this together. Like they're my helpers so that I can kind of help with them. Just to give them the support that I see that they need.
And then this is kind of going back to just classroom management more. How do you ensure that routines and procedures are efficient in order to maximize student learning?
Basically just staying in routine of what, kids have to either raise their hand or, like I said, if I give them some kind of signal, which is something we set up from the beginning of the year, so we use it a lot. So they should know, like, if that's a signal, then that's what they give. They kind of have fun with it, but it's still, this is how I need your attention. So just keeping those procedures and routines in place, really.
And you've talked about having nonverbal signals for like, just kind of when you're working with them in class. Do you have any like signals to redirect behavior or anything you do with them?
Different things, like if it's a same student continuing having a problem, I will remind them. But then we also, if I have to take their folder, that's kind of like their warning of, hey, I need you to really quit talking out of turn, or whatever it is that they're doing. Or sometimes I just have to look at a child and, like, we don't do that, I also, for kids, when they are doing the thing, I have sticks that I draw for a positive spin on it, and you'll probably see me do that throughout my lesson. Like when kids are like they're on with it, they're doing, I'll say, oh, okay, I'm going to draw 2 sticks, or I'm going to draw 3 sticks. And they know that when I get to draw sticks, I have a container with all their names in it. If I draw their stick, they get to go to the treasure box, which I do after my lesson, so it doesn't interrupt the lesson. But like I said, these are things that I do like all the time. So they're kind of, especially at this time of the year, we're really pretty much setting our procedures or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if there's any more of these that. Okay. So in what way do you feel like the activity or any resources that you use kind of help with the instructional goal?
Yeah. Okay. The activity, what I like for the comprehension part of it is because the day before, like the part you'll miss, is they generate the questions. So it's information they want to know. So I feel like it's more meaningful, or I don't know what word I'm trying to say, but like, what am I trying to say? More meaningful to them because they're creating the question. So they're wanting to look to see if their question gets answered. So I think like just having them be a part of the instruction for that piece helps motivate them or wants them to know. And then as far as like the text features in that, I don't really remember what you asked me. Tell me what you asked me again.
How does it help the instructional goal?
Oh, okay. Just with the text features, like them having to find it in their book and able to locate it right in front of them. And then, like I said, just have them, okay, you found it, now tell me, and using the actual book to say, this is a caption because this caption says, and they're using it right there.
Okay. And then my last question for you is, when a student is struggling, how do you determine, I guess, what they're misunderstanding and address that need with them?
Well, so, okay, if I'm doing a lot with this lesson, I plan to, like I said, kind of, because they'll have the books at their desk in front of them, so I kind of walk around more and just kind of look at my chart and that sort of thing. So if I see a kid that's struggling, I kind of make just a mental note. I'll try to talk to them about it right there, but sometimes just that, but I don't want to hold up the whole lesson. So I make just kind of a note to, okay, come back around with that student, whether it be in small group or once everybody's then doing the activity they have to do, I'll go back, just kind of make my round back to that student to just make sure that they fully understand and see, because if I see that they're missing something, then that's maybe we do a small little, like, hey, remember we talked about this, or remind them to use the anchor chart, or, just something that we've already reviewed or discussed.
Okay. Well, sounds good. I look forward to seeing your lesson on Thursday.
All right. Find an answer today. Tell me what sound one time we're gonna make. It's just that one time. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. So let's go turn to page, I think we're on page 44.
Yeah. Yeah, 44.
Oh God, I forgot.
My back hurts.
I'm looking on page 44.
I'm already on, bro. Why are we going on this one?
Well, because you missed part of this, I'll catch you up on the story later, but right now, you know what 3 questions were for. Okay, boys and girls, I need you listening and listen. Again, what we're going to do, you're thinking about the text features, and we'll continue to talk about the text features, because remember, after we finish finding our answers, you're gonna go back and label your text features. So, on page 44, so if I read what text feature is that I'm about to read? I'm gonna read the heading. If I read the heading and it says time for dinner, what does that make you think of?
It's dinner.
It's time for dinner. What do you think they're probably gonna do?
Eat dinner.
They're probably gonna talk about dinner, talk about what they're going to eat, okay? Everybody on page 44?
Yep.
Okay. So once the mother sea otter finds a clam, she swims back up to the water's surface. She also brings a rock with her and lays it on her belly. Okay, here's what I want you to do, and this is what Miss Anderson does as a reader too, and I hope that you do. Remember how we always talk about visualizing? Okay, so this mother sea otter's coming, she finds a clam, which yesterday we learned about clams. You have the wrong book probably. Did you go to, remember you got that book 5? Sometimes that happens. Hey, come here, just pull up a chair and share with me real quick. Just pull up that chair. Okay, so let's visualize, because you have this mother sea otter. Come here. And, okay, so she swims to the water surface, which we talked about surface yesterday, is like on top, remember? So I want y'all to think about, she brings a rock with her. So everybody has a rock. She takes this rock, so she has a clam in her hand and she has a rock in her hand. And she lays it on her belly, so you're laying it on your belly, and then listen what she does. She smashes the clam onto the rock. You're probably thinking, why is she doing that? So what is she doing?
So
And that's exactly what it says. It says, then she smashes the clam onto the rock to open its shells. That's a pretty smart thing, wouldn't you think, for the sea otter to have to do?
I'll do it on the sand. Because it would hurt if we.
Okay, but they're not on the sand. Where are they at?
In the water.
Yeah, so how are you gonna find some sand right there?
Mr. Anderson,
Yes.
this picture kind of looks like a crocodile.
Like its eye, I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. Okay, so I thought that was pretty interesting. And then it says, and then the mother otter and the pup share the clam meat. So yesterday we learned that they eat clams, and now we know how they get inside the clam. You're sitting, and we've already went with that, okay? And now let's look at all these labels. So what do we see? We see a picture of the clam. We see the sea otter. Pup, what are they doing in that picture?
Eating.
They're sharing that, and it shows us that that's the clam meat, and then the mother otter. Okay, now we're gonna read the next title. What is that?
Good night.
Good night. What does that make you think of?
They're going to sleep.
Oh, and if they're going to sleep, who asked a question about how they sleep?
Easy.
Let's find out as we find out, okay? When it is time to sleep, an adult sea otter sometimes wraps seaweed around its body. So, if we look at this picture, you may ask yourself, like, what's seaweed?
Oh,
Okay. Okay, and you may know, but listen, just remember sometimes when you read on it, kind of then tells us, but good readers do say, like, what is seaweed? I'm not sure what that is. So let's keep reading to see. The seaweed is called kelp, and it's attached to the ocean floor. So let's stop reading there. I want you to think about this. Again, we're gonna kind of visualize here. So if the adult sea otter wraps seaweed, look in this picture, what does that kelp look like?
It looks like grass.
It kind of looks like a big leaf or like some kind of green.
It looks like his body doesn't complete. Like a long.
No, it doesn't look like that. Look at your picture.
It looks like.
Look a little bit closer. Okay, talk to your neighbor what you think that looks like. Look at your picture and tell me. What do you think? You're talking to your. You're telling us or your table. Look real close to it and it wraps it around.
It looks like grass pebbles.
What do y'all say about that?
What do you think it looks like?
Seaweed.
Like seaweed? What does the seaweed look like?
It's like that, but it's under the water.
It looks kind of wet, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's kind of smooth, like it's shiny. You see the sun on it?
Yeah.
But okay, but it's wrapped around, so it's probably. Oh, would he? Okay, and if you don't have a friend to talk to, what should you do? You already know this.
Hey, you can do an
Okay, so what? Some people know what seaweed look like, and they say it looks like seaweed. So it's like a big leaf almost, or it is seaweed. But I'm just saying to let you see because they're wrapping it around them. Okay, and it says it's attached to the ocean floor. Why would this mother otter wrap this around him when he wants to sleep, when she wants to sleep? I want y'all to think about that. It's attached to the ocean floor. They're trying to sleep on the water. Why do you think they wrap themselves in this? What do you think, Alex?
Keep them warm.
Okay, you think would it be an important detail that it's attached to the ocean floor?
Yeah.
If they needed to keep warm?
homes.
What do you have in, Leah?
So they don't drift off.
And I even love how you use the word drift. What does drift mean? We're not
Float away.
So they don't float away. Boys and girls, if the sea otter, the mother just went to sleep, didn't wrap herself or anything, and what do you do when you're in the water? You're gonna float. She's gonna wake up and be like, where am I? Okay? So if it's attached to the floor, she's exactly right. Okay? I mean, it may keep them warm too, but just when it said it was attached to the ocean floor, that really makes me think, that's pretty smart thinking too. What do y'all think? Okay, so it says, when it sleeps, an adult sea otter sometimes wraps seaweed around its body. Seaweed called kelp is attached to the ocean floor. It holds the otter in one place. This keeps the waves from carrying the otter out into the ocean. So did we find an answer? What should I have heard y'all do? I should hear lots of sea otters, right? Okay. So Izzy, one time, but Izzy, you can come move your sticky over and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Sometimes the mother otter also wraps kelp around the pup as it sleeps on her chest. Why do you think? Y'all's moms teach y'all do that to y'all?
Yeah.
Because
he doesn't float away.
Right. This is the way I looked at it. If the mother wrapped herself and put the baby, and they both went to sleep, what's going to happen when the mama wakes up?
The baby's gone.
Baby's gone, right? So it's a good mother to wrap their baby too, right? Okay. And then let's look at our labels up here. What does this say? Sleeping adult sea otter. And then this shows us what kelp looks like if we don't know what kelp is, okay? Let's turn the page. And Izzy, we'll talk about your answer in just a little bit. Okay, so what's this one called? What's our heading?
Growing up.
Growing up. Okay, so when a pup is between 6 and 12 months old, I'm going to wait for you to listen. You ready? Okay. Did y'all hear what I just said? 6 months to 12 months old. Do you know when you were 12 months old, how old were you?
1.
You were 1 year old. So about how tall were you?
Like that big. I was big.
You were little. Okay.
Big as this.
So listen to the next thing. It leaves its mother.
What?
How many of you at 1 year old was ready to leave your mother?
My dad. Can I tell you something?
No, you can't. I asked that. Okay, we're not. I'm asking right now. So you got to think about that. If a sea otter is 1 year old, it's leaving its mother, okay? Because listen, it knows how to dive underwater to hunt for food. Who did we learn taught it how to dive? Emily F. taught him how to dive. Emily F. asked the question. Is that what you're talking about? Yes. And it can use, and it now has learned to use rocks to crack open the shellfish. And so now the pup is ready to begin its grown-up life. So at 1 year old, they're calling a sea otter a grown-up, okay? What age do we get called grown-ups here? It's 18, okay? 18 is when you get...
19? I said 19.
Okay, so listen what we're gonna do. No, 16 is when you can start to drive a car, and you are not a grown-up at that time. Some 16-year-olds, I know from experience, because I have one, thinks she's an adult, but she's not. Okay, quietly come to the floor. Let's check out our I'm looking for flat students, quietly sitting on their bottoms, ready to continue to learn. Looking to see. Okay, so here's where we come back to. So what I want to learn, we did get to move Izzy's sticker and it says, how do they sleep? So how do they sleep? So who can raise their hand and tell me? And remember, when we then take this on our animal and do our research, we're not just gonna say they sleep on their backs, okay? We want detailed information that we just found. So let's see if I can put that answer there. Who can tell me, how do they sleep? And we use complete sentences. Shamanta, what do you have? And? Why do they do that? Oh, I'm listening. Okay, so we could say, so how do they sleep? We could say in a complete sentence, when, help me. When they sleep, I'll go from here. They wrap kelp, and I like how she said kelp, to use the word seaweed or kelp, because that's what we find in our, this term, okay. So they wrap kelp around their bodies so they don't drift away. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so we have now found all these answers here. We still have not found why are they named sea otters, or how old can sea otters get. Now we learned something about their age, right? But it didn't say, I mean, we know now that they, at 1 year old, 6 months to 12 months, they go and they're now a grown up. But does it tell us how long they live?
No.
So do we just take these off and we just throw them in the trash and we're done?
No.
Okay, what else? We keep researching because we still want to know. I mean, Aspen, don't you still want to know your answer? And I bet Finley wants to know her answer too. So what could we do? Where else could we go research? We could go to PebbleGo, we could use a computer, we could go to Google, okay? Or find other books, like this isn't the only books on sea otters, you're exactly right. I would say though, did we find a lot of information on sea otters? We really did, didn't we? And so from this, and still we will continue with this, but from this, could you go and start writing a research paper if you had to? Okay, so we did find lots of information. So what we're gonna do right now, I was gonna have the two that didn't have theirs. So I'm gonna let you go get a computer. I want you to either look on PebbleGo or Google, listen, because you're gonna report back to us, okay? See if you can find this, and I'll help you in just a second. I'm gonna get them started. And then Finley's question, I'm actually gonna, just because I know that you really want to, I'm gonna let her research it when she comes tomorrow, and then she can report back to us, okay? So in the meantime, well, I'm not telling you, she's gonna tell you when I'm not doing the work, you're doing the work, okay? So we'll hold that. If she, for whatever reason, doesn't come tomorrow, we'll research it together and we'll find that answer, okay? And yes, okay. So while Aspen looks for that, what I want y'all to do, just like I told you, you're gonna get your book out. Let me show you here. And I already went over this with y'all, but I'm gonna refresh your memory real quick. Okay, so you're gonna take your book. Say it again. I did say refresh. What's special about that word?
Oh, read. Again.
We were learning about prefixes earlier. Good job, Aspen. 3 claw tickets for you. Okay, and yes, y'all exactly right. So y'all are listening and learning. Y'all trying to show off in front of these ladies now. Okay, so listen. There's lots of photographs. We talked about this. There's labels. There's headings. You're gonna have to tell me if there's captions, highlighted words, all these text features that we need to know as second graders. So just like we've done before, I want you to go find 2 of each. Okay, so if you find 5 photographs, how many do you have to write?
2.
And you're gonna go label them, okay?
Are those the photographs?
I don't know, you're gonna have to tell me. I gotta see what you remember from when we've been doing text features. What do you think?
Yep.
What is a photograph?
Oh.
I'm asking Malachi. What's a photograph? When we did our example here, what's a photograph? I'm asking Malachi. It's a picture. So are these pictures?
Yes.
So would they be a photograph?
A lot of pictures.
Okay. Okay, listen though, I am going to give y'all markers because the pencils, it just didn't show up on here at all. Okay, but here's the deal. I know y'all know how to use markers. Last class, a girl left, she had blue all over her, okay? I don't want that. It doesn't matter who, just don't make it be you. Okay, I don't care. So quietly, go get your books, and I'm going to bring you a marker, okay?
You get what you get, and you don't go fit. I'm not figuring out how to do it. All over herself. No.
There you go.
Okay, there we go. I have But you cannot use
Okay, so here you go. You're gonna start labeling your text features.
Yes, right.
You're doing 2 of each. No, you're fine. They can hear. It's not gonna hurt them to hear. Oh, sorry. So let's go look at the chart.
Listen. Can we find 2 of those?
You're doing 2 of each of any text features that second graders have to know. Like I said, if there's more than 2, you only have to label it twice. Because in about another week or so, we're going to then have, we'll use these all the time, but we'll have to have another assessment, and I really want you to be sure that you know what they are. What are you writing there? And remember, if you're not sure how to spell it, use the chart. Okay, where are you getting? And Aspen's gonna be looking to see if we can find her answer. Get her up there. I'll let you look for that. Keep on.
She says, why are all these people watching me?
What is that one? Go look on. I am not laughing at you. Smiling and laughing are 2 different things. No, I'm not.
She's like, there's too many people watching me.
Are you? That's in your book. Who's looking right now? Oh, you went and got your book?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Here's Phineas. I'll let you get Phineas. Okay, so boys and girls, I did not tell you this. When you stop for a second, listen, when you're done, I am gonna have you go to your workstation. When you have it labeled twice, I'm just gonna pull over there. I'm gonna be calling people with the manila folders. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Okay, so when you are finished, I'll move the dots right now. You will go to your workstation, but you have to have 2 of every text feature that's in the book, okay? And Miss Anderson will glance at it before you go to your workstation. So if I call you to my back table over, or to this table here, then you're bringing your manila folder. Got it?
Got it.
Okay. And I am gonna go ahead and draw 2 sticks because I love how everyone got started right away.
Miss Anderson, do you want us to move to that table?
It'll be fine. It's easy. Yeah,
Okay.
it'll be all right. Shamanta and Emily F. If I was doing my reading groups, I would say yes, because all my stuff's over there, but this will be totally fine. Sometimes we have to move over here when I have like so much stuff over here, so they're used to it. I just gotta grab the time.
Hey, I just answered Herman's question. It just says sea otters are mammals.
Well, we answered that one yesterday, remember? But I'm glad that you found it then in another location as well. Brianna, did I pull you yesterday for your words?
Yeah.
Okay. Alex?
Huh?
Did I call you yesterday to go over your sight words? No, who was I gonna call today?
I'll have one.
Someone else said to remind me.
I'll
It might
have-
be the other class. No,
I'll have one.
I think it was the other class. I know you don't have a Manila folder, but I was talking about when we did our new word yesterday. Our sight words, it's fine. Hey, don't worry about that one now. Okay, I don't know. I'll have to look it up in just a second.
What is that? What do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Do you remember what text feature it is?
Well, what I looked at when I told you 64
No.
at the top, like when we just pull it up, it has a number. Yeah. Okay, well, I never counted the names. So you know what? I bet part of it didn't print. Like, you see what I'm saying? Because like you have, there's like tons for Koi, but I wonder if when she
I
printed
think
this,
that one's a heading. You think
Oh no!
I see just first,
It's a picture.
first,
Look at your heading over here. You labeled that one correctly.
fourth, and fifth. Yeah. What's your last one on first?
It's okay,
grade? What's
just
the
cross it out.
last name?
just put a line through it and then you can tell us what it really is.
Okay. Okay, then I don't know. I can't look at it right now, just because I have people in here. But
Yeah, there you go. That one's a
I
heading.
don't know because that's what she printed and that's what's in front of me. And like I said, the total just up front, I mean up top said 64.
Do you know what these are? These little
Yes,
ones?
she is.
With the words? What are those
Okay, I can
words?
try to come after school and talk to you about it.
I know it, just I don't know what the word.
Oh, you're not
Words
sure,
that
okay.
are pointing to
Hey, well, at
specific
least
things
it's less than
inside
what
that
you think it
picture.
means, so you'll be prepared then.
Is a
Okay.
what?
Thanks, Annabelle. Shanita.
Oh, no, I'm just, I got it. Yeah, we got it under control. Where can you look if you don't remember? Go look. Go tell me what you think.
One of the words you should practice every day. That's the one I'm looking for. Jonah, did you remember, did you go look and see what a caption was? Are there captions? Are there captions? Come show me which one you saw. A caption is not a picture. A picture is a picture.
Pictures.
Yeah, it's okay, I just don't want you to get wrong information. Maybe you're just gonna have to find a chair and sit right here, okay? This is not a caption. This is what we're talking about. Caption is what tells about the picture. Okay, everybody freeze for just a second, because I think some of you are confused, you're confusing each other. And we went over it a little while ago, but remember, a caption tells about the picture, okay? So in this example, there's words underneath the picture, and it's telling you. So you would have to have a picture with the caption telling you what's happening in the picture. Why are you erasing heading? That is a heading. So it says, always stay close to the group if you are hiking indoors. This is the caption, it's telling about the picture. So unless you find a picture of a sea otter and it's telling you about the picture, don't talk about the paragraph that I read to y'all, because those were just paragraphs of giving you the facts and the information, okay? So don't start confusing yourself. What is that? Is that telling you about the picture? Or is that telling you about what you're about to read? It is not. Y'all are, I don't know why y'all are so confused. The heading tells you about what you're about to read. Does that tell you about from the heading, or does that tell you about the picture? It does? Okay, then we'll have to revisit this tomorrow, because that's not a caption. It says a newborn pup, and then what does that tell you about? Did you read it? If it tells you about that, look here, just like this heading tells you to be prepared, and it's gonna tell you what you have to do to be prepared. So if that says a newborn pup, and it tells you all about a newborn pup, then it's a what?
No, that's a heading. I didn't see. Because there's
Put
up the map. Put up the map.
Why would I cut up the map? Oh, I told you, and you don't even have to label map.
What do you think
He
it
took his
is?
book compulsory. So he had to use the book that I cut the pictures of, so he didn't have one. You just told me you're gonna go look this in your backpack.
What'd you think?
Are you videoing me?
So,
Nope.
I mean, I was going off what you told
Because
me.
you keep on putting it from like this.
Tell me what you think it is.
And
Any help would be great. Answer her, what do you think it is?
Just tell me what you're not gonna get in trouble if you're wrong.
Here. Emily never gets in trouble. What do you think?
I do get in trouble for my mama.
Okay, go look at this picture, right? We have the picture, and then we have words pointing to things in the picture. Look at that and then go look at the example. Which one looks just like this? It has the words and it has arrows pointing to things inside the picture. Which text feature looks exactly like that? What is that? That's right. It's that one. But what is it called?
You're not, okay, you're done.
A label.
So, I put a point with.
Mm-hmm.
Because it said, I don't know, because this morning I overflew
There's no captions.
I'm done with testing.
Okay, so the label is different than just a caption because the caption is going to be a whole sentence, whereas this is just 3 words. And it's pointing to things. It has the little arrows right to the picture, right to what it's talking about. So what is this one? A label. Perfect. Good job.
Okay, I want you to do your own work down there, because when I look at these, if you don't have it correctly, then I know that I need to give you extra help with it, okay? So you do what you think it is. Do not worry about what your friends put. Why are you still over there? What are you looking
I
for?
was looking at this. How was that?
Okay, Alex, so quit worrying about him, just worry about you. Got it. Okay, so I know that it's been a while since we did this spring break, so I just want to see where we're at. So it looks like, what do you need, Izzy? 4. We always use it, yes. Yes, ma'am. Sure, just go grab one. Just make sure it's not a Sharpie. Okay, so you're working maybe coming on it. So what did you find? I know, but it's right there too. The lifespan, how long did you live? I don't see where you went. Right here, what is the scientific? That's the scientific. You just wanna know what made someone Okay, so you can cover in here. I don't know. What do you need? Jeremy needs what's the italicized, okay, we just. So you went down some, but like I said, it has been since, so that's kind of understandable. So go ahead and, wrap that in, and then when you come in, I want you to practice those. So then when I test you tomorrow, we'll see, okay? Well, oh, okay, go. So that's what this way here. So you see, you wanna get that, this on you 120. But you were so close before spring break. Okay?
Okay, how are you doing today?
It's Friday. Yay!
So this will be our post-conference for your observation that we did last week on the 24th.
Perfect.
So, well, let me ask you first. How do you think it went?
Oh, I gotta think back. No. I think it went okay. I mean, there's always room for improvement with anything. I think every time I reflect on my lessons, but I would say overall that the kids, for the most part, there were a few that were struggling, and so even after you left the next day, I had to go back and let's talk about this again. But overall, I'd say that it went okay.
Okay. I mean, I agree. I think it went really well. The kids seemed to be working independently when you had them looking for text features, and when they were on the carpet, they seemed to be really engaged with you. I think it went really well. And you went over the goals with them about what we were going to be doing that day, and I was even talking to one of the little girls that sat over here, and she needed a little help, but I knew you were working with some other kids, but they went up to the Anchor chart and they were looking for their text features, and they all seemed to be really engaged in actually getting something from the lesson. If I could pick out one thing for you to improve on, I had it earlier. What was I going to say? Just the text. You may have done this. I just may not have been in here when you did it. But some of them seem to be really confused on the text features, and I know that's a new topic for them.
Right.
But just going over those text features again before having them look for it in the story. Just because some of them might seem to be some of them seem to get it, they knew their text features, and then some of them seem to be super confused. Or maybe you could go over it as y'all were reading the story, ask them what text features they see on that page. Then that way when they had to go back for it and on their own, they wouldn't be as confused. But overall, I think it really well. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
You have any questions?
No, I read everything. Like I said, always room for improvement. So I appreciate the suggestions, and yes, I mean, and some of them will still stay confused, but we'll just keep trucking along.
We'll just keep trucking along.
Yes.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much.
Okay, thanks.